Now here's a blower motor that I pulled out for one of my customers up in an attic, and pretty rough looking, I would say. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it apart. I just could not take videos while I was pulling it out. So we're gonna go ahead and get a new squirrel cage and change the motor out and get this puppy back in so that they have some heat. So stay tuned. Well, whenever you pull one of these blower motors out, you want to go ahead and just mark where the wiring was going before, and then that way you'll have a lot better by putting it in the same position so that you're in the right spot. Well, one of the things you have to be very mindful is when you're changing out these squirrel cages, you definitely put it back in the right direction so that the airflow will flow out the back end over here, okay? So that's something that you want to really be careful. Put it in wrong, you're gonna have to change the whole thing, take it out, and a lot of hassle, so just be mindful. Now to get this squirrel cage out of here, you gotta take these screws out from the side over here. This one I already did, there it is. And then over here on the other side, you have another one. And then once you do that, this flat piece here will just pop on out, and you can go ahead and pull that squirrel cage out of there. Now this one, it looks like maybe, yeah, I got a couple of screws. This is a carrier, so usually they don't have, the other brand names don't have these additional screws in it, but we're gonna go ahead and pull them out too. Okay, what I got here is I went ahead and I made up a cord, 115 volts, because that's what this motor is, and it's 11 amperage. And so we're going to go ahead and test the shaft to make sure that the shaft is not out of round due to the, that squirrel cage being so beat up. So we want to test it and see if this motor has to be replaced or not. And I think you can see here it's 11 amps, 115 volts, 1075 RPM. And so we're gonna go ahead and test it and make sure it's okay before I replace it for the customer, because I'm trying to save them a little money if I can. Okay, went ahead and I put the wires together, and as you can see, I went ahead and I had to add what Ted Cook called the little Jimmy Wigglers. I watch him on YouTube all the time, and if you haven't had a chance, check him out. Do-it-yourself HVAC. I mean, a gentleman, very, very knowledgeable. But anyway, went ahead and connected the wires that needed to be corrected or connected, and we got the capacitor over there. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and plug it in and see how that motor does. Now the shaft is rotating pretty good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and check amperage on it, make sure we haven't lost anything, and put my amp meter on so you can see the numbers on it. And let's see, we're going to go ahead and connect it here to the common. And it was rated at 11 amps, so it's just right there at almost 11. So I'm going to let this thing run for a little while and make sure that we haven't lost any of the, and that's on the high speed. So it looks like we're going to be okay with that. You can see the condition of this squirrel cage. I mean, it, I don't know, looks like maybe the bolt that holds the squirrel cage on there, I took the bolt out to save it, but looks like maybe it loosened up on the shaft, because the shaft didn't show much of anything other than some bunch of scratches. So I have to assume that that's what happened. You can see how it just kind of gutted itself into that wheel there. But anyway, appreciate you watching, and on to the next one.